Hi. I'm making this video so that a number of students of mine, especially at the beginning stages, and now that I'm doing my classes online, I'm having to explain how to hold the guitar and how to get started, etc. The very basics. Of course, when it was in-person classes, then it was easier. So I just thought if I put up this video, they can watch this over and over again if they need to. So here goes. So most people would be having a regular size guitar like this, and a lot of people I know would prefer to keep the guitar resting on their right leg. Also, just for information, that's why we have this shape, so that it comes and sits there. And ideally the guitar should be well balanced when it is sitting like that. You get your elbow across and keep your hand so that it rests on the board here. And then you would hold a pick. There are different ways of holding the pick. The way I would recommend is, imagine you're holding a pencil or a pen. The grip needs to be like that. And the way I personally hold it is, there's a thumb on top, and I kind of tend to take two of my fingers, the index and my second finger below, and it kind of holds it. And if you notice, the pointed portion is perpendicular to the direction of the thumb, so that when I get it down here, that's kind of going to make good contact with the string. And the other important thing to note is, hand should ideally rest on the board here. And the reason for that is, when we are playing these strings, initially there will be a tendency to observe which string we are striking. But our ultimate goal is to get rid of that habit. We want our eyes to be reserved to watch what we are going to do with the left hand. So this becomes like a reference for me. My hand is resting here. I know that first string is here, second is here, third is here. It may not happen on day one, but maybe in a couple of days' time. So you kind of know where the strings are. So that way you can concentrate more on focusing on your left hand. That's the logic. So then you may wonder, how do I reach my sixth string, right? So watch this hand, right? So as I went up, this hand tended to open up like this and then go down like that. So let it be flexible. And even if a little bit of your finger is touching this part of the guitar, that is more than enough. Because, hey, if I am in a room and the lights go off, imagine it's night, my immediate tendency is to reach out, touch the nearest object, and after that I get my bearings and I know where I am, right? That's the effect that we're trying to bring about. Okay, now that we're done with that, the other important point is, when you get around to using the left hand and the fingers, we typically want to reserve the index to focus on playing the first fret, all the strings here. These metal bars here are known as frets. So the idea is, you press the string sufficiently or enough such that the string makes proper contact with the fret here, and that's when the sound changes. Same with the second finger for the second fret. There you go. And then the third. So also please note, there are three possible locations where you're likely to press. One would be on top of the fret, as in a string on top of the fret. You will get a blunt sound, to be avoided. And you could possibly press a little away from the fret. So you observe that you're getting a buzzing sound. That is because you need a lot more pressure for the string to make proper contact with the fret here. That's the reason why the buzz comes. So if you have to train yourself to put too much pressure there. So the ideal sweet spot is just behind the fret. Optimal pressure. So those are the very basics. Our goal, let me summarize, is hand should be in contact. Keep the hand flexible. Make sure that as you go up to the sixth string, the hand has to open up, otherwise it won't reach. And how to hold the pick, I told you how I am used to holding it. Each of you will figure out how to hold it ultimately. And then the right place to press would be just behind the fret. One more point. So in case you find that the guitar is a little too big for you, or if you want to experiment with one more seating position, what you could do is if you have a small stool like this, move it to the left leg, keep the left leg up, place the guitar on the left leg, such that the big part of the guitar goes between the V that gets formed by the feet, and then the guitar sits. One advantage of this, there are two advantages. One is the back becomes straight. This is typically how the classical players, people who play with nylon strings, they would hold a guitar. Not only does it keep the back straight, you can play that, everything else works. If you also notice, even in this position, my left hand is not required to hold the guitar stable, just the elbow here, that's it, right? So that the left hand is free to play. I did ask a professional musician friend of mine as to what would be his recommendation, what are the benefits of sitting this way. And he told me something which makes absolute sense. So I am not a performer who typically goes up on stage. I focus more on making my music sitting in my studio. But if I were to be a performer going up on stage, and this is what he said, if at home the musician is sitting and practicing this way, on stage the person probably fixes a strap and is standing. Now when you stand, the guitar goes up and remains in the same position as it was when you were sitting, which means your left hand, the amount it bends and all that, there's no change. Whereas if the guitar were to be on the right leg, when you go up on stage with a strap, your guitar is no longer like that. It comes back this way. So the way you would have practiced would be like this, and the way you're trying to perform would be like this. Trust me, it makes a difference. So I leave the, how you want to sit with the guitar, etc., to you. Over time, you will find your own, comfortable position. So I hope that helps. Thanks and good luck.